ride in. I've got to protect myself. We're going cross country with this, and I'm going to tell the drivers to not stop. I've won, and I'm ready to fucking die.
That's great. I'm sure that there's going to be many fans on hand all around the nation. A lot of people looking forward to the victory parade. Hopefully there's no more riots, but we'll see what happens with that. Now,
there will be riots.
Coach, take us back to last Sunday. Tell us more about your tactics as far as watching the Gamecast or not watching the Gamecast. I know a lot of coaches, a lot of people were looking for you in the chat room. So take us back to your experience of what occurred on Sunday.
Sure. Preparation-wise was basically just the same as any other week. I was kind of torn between playing Vincent Jackson, starting Vincent Jackson over Pierre Thomas or Beanie Wells. I went with Pierre Thomas, which really wasn't the right decision, but in the end, Vincent Jackson still won the game for me, technically, with my bench points. Vincent Jackson, classic VJax, just so inconsistent, but whatever, I won. But anyway, as for the actual day and the night of Sunday, I'm not embarrassed to admit the fact that I only watched the Patriots game and not a second of any other football game. It's basically been my strategy. Well, it's not really even a strategy. It's more just of a decision for my own mental sanity. I just sit back and I do other stuff.
Can you describe your mental sanity a little bit more? What do you mean by that?
I should say lack of mental sanity. I've lost mostly all of it, but by not putting myself through the stress of watching the other games and keeping my eyes on the Gamecast, I think I can keep the 2% of mental sanity I have left. Because once I lose that 2%, you guys, it's not going to be a pretty picture for anybody around me.
Well, it was definitely interesting. I know that I knew what you were doing on Sunday, and the curiosity for me was killing me. I came upstairs and I told you, I was like, listen, are you sure?
You walked on me trying to S my own D.
Well, yeah, I walked in on that, and that was interesting. But with that aside, I said to you, I'm like, you gotta check out what's going on. This was Sunday night during.
And I didn't appreciate it. I was Joe bucked by you coming in there because honestly, I was so in the zone of not paying attention to anything fantasy related. I almost forgot.
Well, I was a little Joe Buck myself because I was getting bombarded with where the hell is John, texts, chat,
Fuck 'em.
Facebook. Yeah, well, I was getting bombarded, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go at least check in and find out what he's doing, what's going on. And then I think you ended up checking the Gamecast. At that point, you were down a point. Victor Cruz was still going. And anyway, as they say, the rest was history. So, next, I guess I want to ask you, Coach, do you have any particular speech or anything that you'd like to say to your fans? I mean, I pretty much was. I gotta pat myself on the back. I mean, obviously, I'm a big factor why you won the championship. I mean, I traded you a second-round pick that you turned around and used for VJax, who obviously was a huge reason why you won the championship. So, is there a speech or anything that you would like to go ahead and say to the people?
Well, I'd like to first start off with thank yous. Eric, the second round pick that you traded me was very nice of you. I hope you use my second round pick next year for something better than what I got. Though Vincent Jackson is a very talented wide receiver, he was one of the only forms of stress that I actually had this season. And I sat him in my playoff game in my Dynasty Bowl. So that second round pick you can shove directly up your ass.
Well, come on now, VJax.
I'm speaking.
Okay, the floor is yours.
I'd like
Continue.
again to thank Brandon McDowell of Buddha Deluxe. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gone all out and traded every single fucking draft pick that I have next year which in turn helped me win it all this year. He instilled a form of confidence that I've never felt before. I'd also like to thank Victor Cruz. I'd also like to thank Calvin Johnson. I'd also like to thank Tom fucking Brady, Rob Gronkowski. You're all beautiful human beings. Beanie Wells, you had a great start of the season, but you had a nagging knee injury, but you toughed it out for me. I hope you understand why I had to sit you the last few days, the last few weeks of the season. I love you all very much. You were my pupsy pups. I'm going to miss you when we were running around the old colonial Dutch house.
Okay. Well, nicely done. You mentioned Victor Cruz, okay?
What about Victor Cruz? What do you want to know?
Well,
answer me.
Let's calm down a little bit here. Show a little respect to your host and commissioner.
There's a lot of emotions going on
I understand
right now.
that.
I just found out that I won.
Well, as far as Victor Cruz is concerned, back on the Playoff Edition podcast, you mentioned that Victor Cruz has been a huge reason for your success.
Absolutely.
Now, Cruz was originally picked up by Yellow Peril back in maybe mid-season, and then he had him for maybe a couple weeks, and then he just dropped him.
Oh,
then
that sucked.
Yeah, then Brutal Deluxe claimed him off waivers, and I don't even think he had him for a week, and he traded him to you for a 7th-round pick.
Steal.
Yeah, then...
That's another reason I should thank Brandon, actually.
Exactly, because in a weird twist of fate, McDowell essentially traded away a title for a 7th-round pick. Because
pretty much.
Yeah, Cruz's 23 points performance on Sunday night, as we referenced before, is what won it for you. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I'm wondering, of all the trades you did, would you consider the Victor Cruz deal your best?
Great question. You could say either that or the Java Best Calvin Johnson for Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall trade I did with Jay Young. Because look at what Calvin Johnson did. I mean, my fucking God. 244 receiving yards, 30-something points. I mean, if I didn't do that trade, I may not have won.
And didn't Megatron also have a sick game in the first round of the playoffs as well, which helped you win that one too?
Yes,
so he was huge for you.
He was absolutely huge for me when it really mattered. He had a rough last last few weeks of the season, but when we really counted on him, he delivered. He definitely delivered. So I don't know if I can really pick between those two trades of which was better. They both equally contributed to my winning.
Okay, sure. Now, Coach, the next question here is actually a relatively kind of difficult, tough question. It may be for you, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask it. This is why they pay me the big bucks, so I'm just going to go ahead and ask it. Now, we were obviously kind of talking a little bit about trades. You broke a record this year. You made 10 trades. 11. You made 11 trades this season, and that's a lot of trading in one season. Now, you were a goddamn trading machine. What do you say to your critics, who deemed you as the New York Yankees of the Dynasty, which just essentially by buying yourself a championship by trading away almost your entire next year's draft to win a title?
I would first ask you who these cynics are and where I can find them.
A good reporter does not reveal his sources.
Well, who said you're a good reporter?
That's to be debated. Sure, that's to be debated.
I would say, first I would say, fuck you, you cunts, to start off my rebuttal to that. And then I would say, don't be jealous of me for wanting to win and doing what I had to do. Obviously, it fucking worked, and everyone else can do it.
That's true.
Trades aren't illegal. There's no salary cap. There's no frickin' there's no limits on trades. Only the trade deadline is the only restrictions regarding trading. So I did everything by the book and by the rules. If a player was available, I did what I had to do to get him.
You most definitely did.
Suck a little dick. Did
Yeah.
a little meth.